Peace and blessings be healthy with y'all. This is Prophet Andre. Uh, I wanted to first start by ask that God be number one, first and foremost in our life. That we see ourselves at a time like this, that we need to come to realization. We need to stop turning blind eye to the things that's happening to us. Because through manipulation, we're making it just that much easy for the beast of the earth and the Antichrist to take his form here, that we need to get away from tradition and start dwelling in intuition. God has been with us and always will be with us in our minds and our hearts, in both realms above and below. I wanted to touch on the basis today about Bishop Eddie Long. It seems to me that we lost sight of one thing. The no one purpose or one person is without fault. And we all make mistakes. We all ask for forgiveness for mistakes. But some people tend to lose sight of the focus that we uplift pastors, bishops, priests, prophets, whoever tends to deliver a message that's appealing to your ear and that's satisfying to your physical self. We lose ourselves. They call them now prominent preachers. It's been a long time that I attended church services. It was because I felt like I was molested and raped from my spiritual understanding, that it seemed like the enemy attacked there the most. And I like to say, people, Bishop Eddie Long put itself in them positions. Okay, we can say it's attack on the black church, it's attack on the black community. The attack already been there. We don't even have to be attacked no more. You know why? Because we attack ourselves. We giving so much dominion over the world and the wealth. We forget to hold the main dominion over the main thing we need dominion from and over ourselves. We are God's children walking the earth without sense of who we are or where God stands within us. We fell away from the eternal love of God and traded it for the riches of the world. We seem to be losing ourselves, people, and the time is now to stand up. I know everybody want to defend it long and don't want to be judgmental, but it's a time out for ignorance. Ignorance is war with God. We're warring against God because we choose not to listen to the God what's in us. And I hear a lot of people say you should learn the word for yourself, but what foundation do you understand the word? Words are words. But we need to realize that we are the word. I don't know if the brother did it or not. I don't have any evidence of that. But I'll tell you one thing. You best to believe that it's supposed to be a shift. Things are coming to an end. God is going to reclaim the rights to his church. Because for long, where have we been deceived in exchange for greed, wealth, power? We all are God's children, and we all capable of delivering the message. You are the message. You are the question. You are the answer. Who we need to reach out to is the members of the church. We need to pray for them and uplift them. Because everything is a season. His realm has came and gone. This ain't the first time this didn't happen. This ain't the last time it's going to happen. And there's going to be many more that's exposed. So here's a warning to all you pastors, bishops, ministers, apostles, prophets, and anybody claiming the will of God that they speaking. Fly straight and fly right. Vengeance is the Lord's. It's time to get away from this slave man mentality and start getting away to a resurrection. We're being crucified here now. We need to resurrect the death of our old self to rise as God's sons, daughters, children. I like to go to this. It's actually a Bible study I prepared a while ago when I done Bible study. And I call it, People Don't Love and Respect God. They too busy loving the devil, serving the devil. Your connection with God exists in you. God allows you to understand, interpret truth from deception. To know God is to know who you is. And that brought me to go to this passage here. It's in Malachi 1:6. It says, children honor their fathers, servants honor their masters. I am your master, so why don't you honor me? I am your father, so why don't you respect me? Even your priests don't respect my name. People, we have a serious problem here. Because if it's the leaders that we depend on and they delivering you a message, that's your foundation. It's like people done got greedy. If I minister to a person, they say they can't take a word from me. You know why? Because they preacher or they pastor said you shouldn't take that from them. Why? Because of what I look like? Because what I seem like? And then the first thing it says, you should not judge. But I'm judged on a daily basis. I'm crucified by the words that cut out of people's mouth like a double-edged sword. And you know why? Because people are not listening to God. Because regardless of what I say, regardless of what the big prominent pastors say, regardless of what they teach you, in the end, it's still all upon the choice. See, because you are the question, and your freedom is the answer. Now, with Eddie Long, that's between Eddie Long and God. Eddie Long know deeper in his heart what he have done, and he's going to be held accountable for it. Because no man is in this world without sin. I don't care how close their relationship with God they say they tell you it is. Believe me, if you look at your own life, you will see you are a sinful being. And you got to realize that there's no escaping sin. There's no escaping imperfection. Because to be honest with you, perfection is death. If the devil wasn't a part of God's plan, why don't you think God hasn't bound Satan yet? We need to take a reevaluation and look at people for what they are. But at times like these, we need so badly to hold on to something so of importance that we walk blindly. And the only reason why we're blind because we chose not to see. Because because our eyes were closed. We rather turn the other cheek and not see. But that time is coming near, and it's time for awakening. This is part one, and there's more series to come. We need to find our true church inside of ourselves first. Church is good for the fellowship. God is one with all of us. And our connection together, that completes God. It's one whole body. I stopped going to churches a while ago for the simple fact, with so much division, with so much mess, I really believe I'm going to leave that alone. Because people tend to get offended because their egos are so fragile. People don't live off the spiritual self no more. They take that and they conflict that and twist that. But God's word is God's word. And God's word is you. Your words are power within themselves. Eddie Long done what he had to do. And if he awoken people and this and that, however he done it, Jesus wasn't rich. Jesus didn't have jets. He rode into town on a mule, a donkey, you hear me? He didn't roll a big Bentley, didn't have nice fine things and all that. We can't buy our way into heaven. Heaven is the state of mind of God. I mean, freedom from this carnal world and still exist in the body. Let God manifest through you. Let God speak through you. Because you're the instrument. You're the question and answer. I'm not saying that all teachers, prophets, bishops, and prophets are bad. But sometimes we fall away from the agenda through the greater power of influences and then take that influences, and as long as the people are there, people don't realize within themselves that they're sealing their own fate. Don't seal your fate no more. Be free. Freedom is nothing but a state of mind, because there's not a such thing actually as freedom, because you're bound by something, mainly yourself. I'm not saying learn, deny who you learn from. And it's not that you listen to the message from the people you learn from. Understand the revelation that revelates through you. Because words are words. The same words that came out of my mouth, the same words that came out of another person's mouth who wrote the Bible. Interpretation is the key. Ask God to elevate the foundation for you. Anybody that has a message has an agenda, good or bad. Some do it for the will of God, and some do it for the will of self. Eddie Long, not to be judgmental, and you can call me a judgmental person you want to, was doing it for himself. He should have been more responsible and more respectful for his congregation. The people who empowered him to the status that he is. God empowers, but God empowers people. People is power. As long as people are who they are. Blind, ignorant to the facts. Just because somebody tell you something don't mean it's a fact. Search for yourself. Go to history and you'll find the mystery. As I wrap up this part one, I'm going to have a special guest, Prophetess Kane, come to deliver a message, a warning to the leaders and the people. Awakening shall arise, and God's going to move